morning. I'm Deirdre Fitzpatrick.
And I'm Teo Torres. So weather-wise, loving this weather.
It's amazing right now. We've had a really great stretch here even over the weekend, and wait till you see our 7-day with Tamara.
Yeah, beautiful start to the morning. We're still just shy of about an hour away from sunrise, really about 50 minutes or so. Things should start to brighten up nicely, but you can see what's bright out there right now is our city skyline here, looking from the Exchange Hotel out towards the Capitol Dome, and our skies are relatively clear, and temperatures currently at 60 degrees with just a faint south wind flowing at 5 miles per hour. Moving along, the morning stays really nice with those upper 50s to low 60s pretty mainstream, at least for the next couple of hours. We'll get closer to that 70-degree mark by 10 a.m., moving up to the mid-70s by lunchtime with daytime highs today in the lower to mid-80s, so climbing up just a few degrees compared to where we were yesterday afternoon. It's nice and cool this morning in the foothills, dipping down to 59 in Placerville and Auburn, and we're down to 39 in Truckee right now. Sitting at 60 in Stockton and 58 for Fairfield with that onshore breeze zipping through at about 17 miles per hour. South wind steady at 5 in Sacramento. Winds are out of the west right now, currently at 6 over Stockton. Moving along, your planner for the foothills today, especially in Placerville, we'll start out in those 50s. We'll be in the 70s by 11 a.m., low 80s by 1 o'clock, and daytime highs getting into about the upper 70s to the lower 80s today across the foothills. Coming up in my full forecast, there is a destination that will have some thunderstorms. I'll take you through the timing on that and where coming up in just a bit. 6:02 right now, timing things out on the roadways. Brian, how are things moving?
Got a pretty good delay developing westbound Interstate 80. This is all due to a crash at Mace Boulevard. Several lanes blocked there, and you can see the backup now through Charles Road. Speeds down to 20 miles per hour and backed up almost all the way back across the causeway as you're making your way westbound 80. So I'll keep an eye on that for you, let you know as soon as they get those lanes open. Also working to clear up a crash involving a motorcycle rider and another vehicle. This is going to be at Pinole Valley Road. So we've got a backup there all the way back through the John Muir Parkway as you're heading westbound Interstate 80. And then on Highway 4 in the Pittsburgh area, we've got an accident that's blocking a couple of lanes there, adding to the travel times there on westbound 4. Here in Sacramento, Interstate 80, Highway 50, all quiet this morning. No issues to report there. 5 and 99 running at the limit as well. So if you're heading into downtown Sacramento, so far we're looking pretty good throughout our area. And then through Stockton, no major issues to report on 599 or Highway 4 right in the city. But again, if you're heading out into Pittsburgh, that's where you run into the delays. Westbound 80, 14-minute ride right now between Vacaville and Fairfield. 205 is a 23-minute ride through the Triangle, and then westbound 580 at 30 minutes. And here in Sacramento, Highway 50, a little bit of slowing during the construction there. Interstate 80 Roseville to the split, 9 minutes, and 5 and 99 northbound out of Elk Grove, an 11-minute ride. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Brian. We're following breaking news right now out of Rio Linda. Sacramento County Sheriff's deputies are investigating a homicide involving a 17-year-old boy. Happened early this morning on 22nd Street near Elkhorn Boulevard, where we find Melanie Wingo there. And you've been gathering information all morning, Melanie. What do we know?
And we're on the other side of that crime scene now. From our last half hour, we've moved and we're seeing a different perspective of what's happening out here on 22nd Street. Take a look behind me. Chaplains out here working with neighbors, witnesses, people who were in this neighborhood at the time of this shooting. We want to back up and give you the information on just how all of this unfolded. According to the sheriff's office, they got a call around 2:15 this morning about a person shot at a home out here. Deputies arrived and found a 17-year-old male suffering from at least one gunshot wound, but people in the neighborhood say they heard several gunshots having been fired. Now, homicide detectives are gathering evidence still out here, and we've seen a couple of them knock on doors, and they're working inside, obviously, with people who would have been home at the time. According to the sheriff's office, those people are being cooperative, but nobody saw anything. Still a lot of unknowns about this whole scenario. Take a listen to what the sheriff's office had to say just a few minutes ago.
We don't have anybody identified. We don't think there's anybody in there that did it. So, I mean, it could have been a group that came up, could have been an individual, could have been a drive-by, could have been virtually anything right now. So we're really very early.
So as you heard, very early in the investigation, and at this point, the sheriff's office does not have any sort of suspect or suspects to name, no description of anybody who might have been seen out here. And they're really asking for people in the neighborhood who might have had surveillance video, ring camera video, somebody who heard or saw something to come forward with that information as they try to piece together this crime. Reporting live in Rio Linda this morning, Melanie Wingo, KCRA 3 News.
A police pursuit ended with a crash in front of a Midtown bar, and several young people are in custody right now. Happened around 7 p.m. last night. Police saw a van that had been reported stolen at 19th and L. When they tried to stop it, a van sped off, crashing into a car at 19th and P Streets. It was right in front of a packed bar. One person had to be cut out of the car, but both driver and passenger are expected to be okay. There were 4 juveniles in the van. They suffered minor injuries and were detained by police. We do expect to learn more today also about a shooting that left 1 man dead, and police believe the victims were mistaken for gang members. 21-year-old Isaiah Daniel Vasquez was shot and killed just over a week ago. He was one of 3 people shot on Gordon Drive September 8th and the only one who did not survive. Vasquez worked at a barbershop in Tahoe Park and was about to be a father next month. Those who knew him are clearly saddened by his sudden death.
He was like a little shining light. Like everywhere you went, he said hello to everyone, looked them in their eye, said goodbye, always came in and gave hugs.
It was shocking because you see him one day and it's like, oh, bye man, have a good night. And then the next day you wake up and the first thing you see on your phone is that he's gone.
Again, investigators believe that Vasquez and the 2 others were mistaken for rival gang members. 2 known gang members were arrested in connection to the shooting. And later today, local businesses put together a fundraising event to help out the victim's family. They'll hold a sale and raffle starting this afternoon from 1 to 8 in Tahoe Park.
Meanwhile, a manhunt is going to continue this morning for the person who shot and killed a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy in an ambush. Now, a $250,000 reward is offered. Hundreds of people gathered last night at a vigil to honor the life of a 30-year-old deputy, Ryan Klinkenbermer. He was found unconscious in his police cruiser, suffering from a gunshot wound by a citizen in Palmdale Saturday night. He was rushed to a nearby hospital. He did die as a result of those injuries. Police say that the shooting was an ambush involving a suspect or suspects in a vehicle that was driving past the deputy when they fired at him.
Well, happening today, the Sacramento Police Department will make a push to fill open spots across its department.
KCRA 3's Leticia Ordaz joining us now live with a look at the positions that are open.
Good morning, Deirdre and Teo. You can be a police recruit, you can be a police officer or a dispatcher. A lot of positions up for grabs today. The Sacramento Police Department is dealing with a big staffing shortage, and this hiring event is meant to fill that need. They want to better serve the community. So here are the details that you need on your screen. This event gets underway at noon today, goes all the way until 8 o'clock, so you have plenty of time to get on over here. This is going to be happening at the Northern California Regional Public Safety Training Authority in McClellan Park, and members of the police department will be here to explain the hiring process, and people who stop by can also participate in mock interviews and get a chance to practice a physical agility test, which includes an obstacle course, climbing a chain link fence, and lifting a 165-pound dummy and carrying it 32 feet as fast as possible. So scan this QR code on your screen if you're interested, and you can register for today's event. It takes place from noon until 8 tonight. And by the way, you will get paid to train, and the starting pay for a police recruit is $73,000 a year. Reporting live here in Sacramento County, Leticia Ordaz, KCRA 3 News.
By the way, you have to be at least 21 years old to be a Sacramento police officer.
Well, today, federal investigators are going to be looking in Reno into the cause of the mid-air crash that killed 2 California pilots during the last day of the championship air races. Officials say the pilots, Nick Macy and Chris Rushing, crashed just before landing at 2:15 yesterday. The Reno Air Racing Association says both of them were expertly skilled pilots, and both pilots were previous winners in the race class. The association is working with the NTSB and the FAA to try to figure out the cause of the crash. Now, in recent years, there have been a number of crashes at the air races. Last year, a pilot died while racing. In 2014, a retired pilot from San Jose died after a wing malfunctioned. And then in 2011, 11 people died and another 70 people were seriously injured when a plane crashed into the grandstand. This was the last year of the national championship air races in Reno. In March, it was announced that they're going to be leaving the Reno Stead Airport because of the region's significant growth and some other concerns. A new location has not been announced.
Well, the countdown is on with less than 2 weeks left for lawmakers to pass a budget and avoid a government shutdown. Lawmakers return to Capitol Hill today. KCRA 3's Amy Liu is in Washington now, tracking overnight developments in the House of Representatives.
Well, overnight, House Republicans proposed a new temporary extension of the budget that would keep the government running for another month.
We are working through this, and I'm optimistic that we will continue to move the appropriations process forward.
While the House works towards funding the government long term, Republican leadership is pushing first a short-term spending plan loaded with new border policies and sharp spending cuts. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is seeking approval on the proposal as soon as this week. But turmoil within his own party may once again stall voting, as conservative Republicans demand even deeper spending cuts as they pursue an impeachment inquiry. The president responding, wishing. The House plan extending government funding through the end of October is a non-starter for Democrats, facing another uphill battle 2 weeks before time runs out.
It will be a disaster. And yet, the attention coming out of the House leadership is on impeachment and putting forward things they know will not ever pass the Senate.
Some members of the ultra-conservative House Freedom Caucus said overnight that they would not support the short-term spending plan. That's despite the fact that leadership from the same faction reportedly helped write the bill. In Washington, I'm Amy Liu, KCRA 3 News.